Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to continue talking about the digestive system. This is a topic that you should have already started researching. That was your assignment for today. And you already have an idea of what the organs of this system do. I recommend that you guys have those notes beside you while watching this video to help you guys understand what we are talking about then. So, the digestive system. What is the function of the digestive system? We gotta ask ourselves the question. We need to ask ourselves, why do we eat? Well, besides food being delicious, we also eat because we need to obtain energy. Energy for what? For running, for walking, for talking, for your cell cycle, for eating more food. Ironically, we need more energy to get more energy, in a nutshell, okay? To get the raw materials our body needs for building tissue. Okay, so what happens then? What happens when you guys cut yourselves? When you guys have a small cut in your finger, in your hand, in your foot, whatever, okay? Your body can't magically just make new tissue appear. It needs the raw materials from somewhere, and those raw materials come from the food that you eat. So, okay, what is the process, the assimilation of food? How do we intake our food? Well, first of all, we need all of these organs over here, including the mouth, okay? All of these organs work together by assimilating, breaking down your food. You'd be amazed to think that this entire tube, this entire system, it's like literally one single tube throughout your entire body. In essence, you are like a donut, boys and girls. So, the process is actually broken down into several steps. The first step is ingestion, when you're actually intaking your food, when you put the food into your mouth, into your body. Propulsion is when you move that food, starting from your mouth all the way to the anus. Mechanical and chemical breakdown. Okay, what are these two things? Mechanical breakdown is whenever you grind, smash, break, twist, squeeze your food. You're breaking it down into smaller, more manageable particles. Chemical breakdown is when you use chemicals, like the word says it. These chemicals are mostly enzymes, okay, that break down the food at a molecular level, and they make the food particles all that more easy to manage inside your body. Absorption is when you finally are able to intake all the nutrients from your food. It is one thing to ingest your food, it is another thing to absorb the nutrients from that food. And finally, excretion, which is basically a pooping process. So then, we gotta start through where all of life's problems start, through the mouth then, okay? The mouth is where ingestion starts. It's where you put your food into your body, okay? Your mouth does both mechanical and chemical digestion. How mechanical? Well, you see this little set of tools that you guys have in here? Well, these tools that we call teeth are in charge of chopping, smashing, grinding food, and breaking it down into smaller particles that are easier to digest. Chemical digestion through your saliva. Your saliva is the first enzyme that starts breaking down food. It's not a very powerful enzyme, but it does help a lot. Okay? Alright, so when you have managed to chop down your food and destroy it, and you're about to swallow your food, you tend to make it into a small, like, ball shape, right? Well, that ball of food that you're about to ingest into your body, that you're about to swallow, is called the bolus. The esophagus. The esophagus is this tube over here that connects your mouth, the larynx and the pharynx with your stomach, okay? It's like this middle section over here, okay? This is where the process of propulsion, or basically swallowing, starts, okay? Smooth muscles move food through the esophagus by squeezing it down. This motion is called peristalsis. So basically, smooth muscles around the esophagus, they are squeezing down your food until it reaches your stomach. Think about when you're really thirsty and you have a bag of water and you're trying to squeeze the final amount of water outside of that bag. Well, that is the exact same thing that peristalsis does. Okay, that is the exact same motion, the same action. And peristalsis is so powerful that it can even move food through your esophagus, even if you were facing upside down. If you're standing on your hands, you try to swallow something, it is completely possible that your food is going to move from your mouth all the way to your stomach. I don't recommend doing it, however, okay? But it is a thing. By the way, the esophagus also does a small amount of mechanical digestion because it is squeezing food, but it's not squeezing it directly. So it is a small amount of mechanical digestion. Your stomach, okay, your stomach is this sac that contains some very powerful, a very powerful acid inside of it, okay? The first thing that it does is mechanical digestion also. This mechanical digestion is called churning. Churning is when you feel your stomach, it's moving, it's growling, okay? And sometimes it hurts when it moves, right? Well, when it's doing that, it's squeezing food and breaking it mechanically. However, its main function is to chemically digest your food, to chemically break it down. For that, it uses hydrochloric acid, one of the most powerful acids that human beings know. So the question comes then, how come then that this acid is so powerful? Why is it that it doesn't burn our stomach down? Because your stomach is filled with a layer of mucus, okay? And this mucus protects your stomach from being burned. However, when you guys feel heartburn, when you guys feel gastritis in your esophagus, sometimes even in your larynx and pharynx over here, it's because a small amount of this acid has actually moved up your esophagus and burned its way through those areas. It's very painful, boys and girls. Alright, so the duodenum. The duodenum is actually a part of the small intestine, but it's located here. Is this small section that comes directly after the stomach. The duodenum is very important because it's a place where the gallbladder, where the pancreas and the liver meet or work together to break down chemically your food. So your stomach breaks down your food into small particles, and inside the duodenum, these three organs over here break it down into smaller pieces, into smaller particles. They use enzymes for this. Enzymes are a type of protein that break down food also at a molecular level. The most common type of enzyme that we know for digestion is called bile. Okay, it's a yellow liquid that you sometimes vomit when you're sick. Okay, so the small intestine. The small intestine is this section over here inside of your body, and contrary to popular belief, it is not called small because it's short. It is actually 6 meters long. I dare you to measure 6 meters and see how much intestine you guys have inside your bodies. It is, however, very narrow, okay? It doesn't allow a large space for food to crawl through, okay? That's why it's called the small intestine. Not because it's short, but because it's narrow, okay? It does mechanical digestion, also by peristalsis. And it is the place where food absorption finally starts. And food absorption happens through the bile. Bile are this little tiny hairs, okay, that are surrounding the wall of the small intestine. So when food comes into contact with these little hairs over here, the nutrients inside of it get immediately absorbed into your body, okay? So until now, your food has only been broken down. It is only until it reaches the small intestine that the nutrients are finally being absorbed. The large intestine. The large intestine is this entire section over here, okay? The large intestine is also called the colon, all right? In here, absorption continues as water and salt are absorbed through the internal wall. That means that whatever is left from the small intestine gets absorbed through the colon, through the large intestine, okay? Mostly water, mostly salt, but if there's any other mineral left behind, any other nutrient left behind, it is also absorbed through here, okay? And the mass that is left behind by the colon is what we call feces, okay? It's your poop, all right? Also, the colon is very important because it produces vitamin B and K. I am going to give 5 points to whoever investigates and tell me why these two vitamins are important for the human body. And finally, in here we have the appendix. The appendix is this section over here, alright? Normally, the appendix is a vestigial organ. It's an organ left behind from when we used to eat grass or vegetation for food, okay? It's considered to be vestigial because it doesn't have like a very big purpose in our body. However, recently it has been studied and it has been revealed that the appendix actually helps the bacterial fauna of our intestine, of our large intestine, and it also helps in breaking down food in that way. So you need bacteria inside of your large intestine, which are the ones also that produce vitamin B and K, and most of those bacteria come from here, from the appendix. So it is not an extremely important organ, but it does have its function. Finally then, the rectus and the anus. The rectus, boys and girls, is this section over here, okay, the final section of the large intestine, and it's where feces pass through feces pass through the rectum, okay? This is where the final stretch of the way happens, okay? This is where the feces are about to be excreted through your body. They are eliminated through the anus. The anus is the actual orifice. It's the actual opening through which you guys poop and get rid of any waste that was left behind from the digestive process, okay? And there we go. Food digestion takes place between 24 and 35 hours, okay? That means that it takes this amount of time to complete, basically, okay? Some people, even less of a time, all right? So, basically, that's the journey through the digestive system, is the journey that your food takes through your body. And I hope this was helpful. I hope it helped you guys understand the concept of digestion better. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. See you around.